Hi. It's been a while. How about that Quest 3, eh? So, MetaConnect just happened. This is when Meta shows off all their biggest plans for the coming year, outlining the direction of the company. It's a big deal, and expecting news on the Quest 3, I decided to watch it live. And what I saw, while not exactly hype-driving, was very interesting, and I want to talk about it. So here's what we're gonna do. In this case, they're very clearly heading for a three-pronged approach. Mark comes out and does a big overview on all three subjects, and then bespoke speakers talk about each subject more in depth. We're gonna do the same thing here. I'll go over everything real quick, and then talk about each one in more detail. So we're gonna let Mark do his big speech about the future of the Metaverse, and then we'll get down to business.
Or, you'll walk into a meeting, and you'll sit down at a table, and you'll be there with your, there will be people who are there physically and people who are there digitally as holograms, but also sitting around the table with you are going to be a bunch of AIs who are embodied as holograms who are helping you get different stuff done too.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, we're moving on. First up, Quest 3. Now this is the part I'm interested in. This is why I'm here. And if I had to guess, it's why you guys are here too. I don't want to get too into the weeds. There are a million other videos out there going into specs and features. Needless to say, with better lenses, displays, and more graphical power, it's a significant upgrade to the Quest 2 for VR purposes. The obvious headline feature they're pushing is its mixed reality capability, but just put a pin in that for now. We'll get back to it. Next up is AI. A surprising amount of this conference was dedicated to it. A little bit of image generation, nothing above a faster Midjourney really, but mostly language models for glorified chatbots. Meta AI is the big one, a sort of AI Siri replacement, but also a lot of other spin-off personalities like,
Let's get medieval, player. Beast is that?
I'm not saying I know everything.
Lastly, smart glasses, a new generation to the Ray-Bans with increased and yet still very limited in scope functionality. So it's good that they had the best presenter by far. Li Shen is the only one there with any energy. It has a bunch of cameras and microphones to take pictures and videos and I think phone calls. It can live stream directly to Instagram, the whole shebang. The twist is it's largely being sold on its AI features, integration with Meta AI being the biggest selling point. And that's the overview. I actually want to work backwards from there. Let's go ahead and start with the Ray-Bans. Alright, I'm not saying these will be awful, I'm just saying that I struggle to see a use for them. They're being sold as a way to connect without having to take out your phone. Now I don't know about you guys, but taking out my phone is not exactly a Herculean feat. The biggest problem I'm seeing around these is that these are a major privacy concern. At any point, some fuckhead could be recording you from across the restaurant with their secret Zuck Ray-Bans. Everything from unadvised prank videos to straight up revenge porn are now subject to secret high quality recordings via some admittedly stylish frames. Not worth throwing out the baby with the bathwater here, it's just worth noting. I can actually see the AI assistant being pretty useful. Speaking of which, a lot of fuss was made about Meta's new AI technologies, and it's clear that Mark & Co want this tech to be present in pretty much everything they make going forward, like the Ray-Bans and the Quest 3. Again, we'll get to it. The main one is Meta AI. This would be a semi-replacement to something like Siri or Google Assistant. This is actually promising. It could increase functionality beyond what something like Siri is capable of. Hey Siri, am I adopted?
I couldn't say.
Fuck off! Obviously, accuracy is incredibly important when it comes to AI dispensing information, but apparently they're partnering with some other programs to get access to live info, which might help out with this. Weirder than that is the specialty AIs they want to make. They have this chef bot who's supposed to help you make your recipes. Like, you want to try out some new innovative meat-based cuisine, so you text your AI buddy and ask, "Hey Max, how do I deep fry my testicles?" But what I don't understand is what these offer that you can't also get with a quick Google search? Or better yet, why couldn't I ask these questions to the main AI with better functionality? The only thing these offer is a somewhat more personable and conversational method of delivery. But when I'm looking up how to make pancakes, I don't want pleasantries. I want a delivery of pancake-related information as expediently as possible. I really struggle to find a use for these outside of novelty. A big thing they mentioned was these AIs being present inside Horizon worlds as NPCs. Which actually brings us to the main event. No bones about it, this thing is a fucking beast, and I am excited for it. Again, not gonna focus too much on specs, but feature-wise there's a lot here to be excited for. I've seen people talking about inside-out upper body tracking, multi-stage triggers, better haptics from the Quest Pro controllers, but obviously, what Zuck's boys are counting on selling this thing is mixed reality. And the thing is, I'm not entirely sold on that. Instead of being sold strictly for work like the Quest Pro, the 3 is being positioned almost as a pseudo-lifestyle device. While games are admittedly the largest use case, Meta wants the 3 to be seen as something you can use for VR games, but also for general entertainment, or for work, or for interior decorating? Augments are something that got a lot of focus. The Quest's ability to map your environment via its depth sensor means you can anchor objects onto said environment. This is really cool. It basically turns your actual home into the equivalent of the old PCVR Oculus home, and you can decorate as you wish with your own virtual objects. And seeing this, I really feel like what Mark talked about in 2021, his real vision, is somewhat coming into focus for me. No matter how any of us actually end up using these technologies, for Mark, all of this is meant to become the Metaverse. That is the end game. For the past 2 years, the Metaverse has rightfully been relentlessly ridiculed as a concept. The biggest reason is how vague and meaningless it all is. When Mark comes out in 2021, it starts to talk about how you and your friends are going to astral project to a concert before buying NFT t-shirts for your Habbo Hotel avatar in the gift shop. That is on its face completely laughable. But compared to that original vision, what's shown off this year is now a Metaverse vision that is slightly more actionable. It is clear to me now that Mark is absolutely trying to pin all of this not on VR, but on augmented reality. First from the tech they showed off, and what tipped me over the edge was one small statement from Andrew Bosworth, the CTO.
Starting at $499, this is going to be the best value spatial computing headset on the market for a long time to come.
Spatial computing. Where have I heard that before?
The era of spatial computing is here.
Ah. That's not their buzzword. That's Apple's buzzword. They clearly see Apple as a threat in the AR space, and they don't want Tim Cook getting in on their slice of the pie, so they're going to do spatial computing first, and more importantly, cheaper. AR will be the cornerstone, the digital layer by which Facebook exercises their functions onto your reality. You will interact with their Max the Chef AI within your headset. You have purely digital objects that by nature of now being shown to you in your house, on your shelf, they become real. They are yours.
The goal of this degree of reification was to create a space so real and legitimate that it could be said that the metaverse could be capable of containing divinity. A church in the metaverse can be sacred, independent of the context of human interaction, because it's not just software, it's a place.
That sense of place YouTuber Dan Olson talks about in his excellent documentary on Decentraland is the goal here. This digital skin containing augments and your VR game library and your 16 virtual ultra-wide monitors should feel exactly as lived in as your own actual room. It's a place. Not only that, there's an argument to be made by Zuckheads that it would be even more your room than your actual room. After all, it would contain all your real possessions, both physical and digital. Of course, while interesting, it brings with it a host of other problems. The metaverse in both forms still requires mass adoption. It doesn't matter if I wear my meta brick on my head literally every second of the day, so all my digital possessions are always on my shelves. If nobody else is wearing their meta brick, all sense of reality goes out the window. If they can't see all of my ultra-wide monitors, my 70 identical pictures of Kamina on my walls, is it really there? Another issue is that of user input. This is meta after all. Do users get to make their own augments? Is there any type of sharing for user-made augments to circulate? Or is it all going to be what Papa Zuck lets us have? I'm sure people on SideQuest will find a way to mod in custom augments like home environments before them, but this should really be more accessible out the gate. And while less explicit, in all their footage, Meta shows off mixed reality in their spacious homes that are perfectly cleaned, space on their shelves for all their digital stuff. Mark, how much space do you think I have? I live in a studio apartment, Mark. It looks like shit most of the time. I don't have extra room on my shelves that I can leave empty for digital anime figurines. I have actual anime figurines I need to put there. All of these problems and many more are important because every problem might be important to somebody. Mass adoption is required. Everybody needs to be on the same page for Mark to get what he wants here. Everybody needs to believe in his vision. And as for me, I can't really say I do yet. To steal another quote from Dan Olson, the metaverse, much like Tinkerbell, is a sprite. A fey creature that subsists upon no material substance but the pure essence of belief. Fragile enough to be slain by the mere words, I do not believe. It is thusly required in every performance of Peter Pan for the audience to ritualistically resurrect Tinkerbell every night via their affirmation of belief. Clap your hands, or Tinkerbell dies. I can finally hear the fluttering of Tinkerbell's wings at the window, but I'm still not convinced if it's really there. Still buying a Quest 3 day one though. That shit looks sick.
Assassin's Creed, they have Assassin's Creed. The Quest 3 update for Red Matter 2. Look at the graphics, look at the graphics, bro. Bright face just jumping around. Look at that video game.